nature. This is artificial poison. And again, with the National Academy of Sciences going back decades, they've affirmed that any exposure to radioactivity, no matter how low the dose, carries a health risk of cancer. But those risks accumulate over a lifetime. So all of this downplaying of the radioactive cesium contamination in the tuna is yet another example of the nuclear establishment in industry and government trying to put people to sleep to these very real risks.
Tobacco doesn't cause cancer. Neither does nuclear.
And they got away with that for decades.
Yeah, and now the exact same scientists are the ones who are promoting, I mean, literally, some of the exact same scientists are promoting the idea that there's no such thing as global warming and nuclear power is safe, yeah. We've talked many times about reactor 4. Again, my recollection is that it's uniquely dangerous because it has both spent fuel rods in it and new fuel rods. They had offloaded the fuel from the reactor into the pool just before the earthquake. Is that correct?
Right. The less used fuel rods would be more apt to start a nuclear chain reaction inadvertently. So that's the danger there.
And these are in a pool in the roof of this 10 or 12 story tall building that had its sides blown out and is listing?
Yes, and the most recent news is there's a bulge on the side of the building, so that's raised concerns about the stability of the building itself. The pool floor has been supported by steel jacks since shortly into this catastrophe, over a year. So any boil down of the pool, it has lost cooling even last month. For 24 hours, the cooling system malfunctioned. So it began to heat up over that 24-hour period. Or if the building collapses or the pool floor falls out, that would be an instant drain down. In either case, once the fuel is exposed to air, it's just a matter of some hours at most before that's on fire, and 100% of the radioactive cesium could be released by the fire, in the smoke. Up to 8 times Chernobyl's cesium releases are in that one pool at Fukushima Daiichi.
And, wow. And if that one goes down, there's 6 reactors at that site, 7 waste sites, if I remember correct.
7 pools, right.
So what kind of risk does that represent? And what are the probabilities or possibilities of reactor building 4 catching on fire, as you suggested, and that spreading?
Well, the Japanese diplomat Matsumura, who's called international attention to this issue through his hard work, points out that 50 meters away from the Unit 4 building is the common pool at Fukushima Daiichi.
The big pool.
The biggest one with the most waste in it. So if that Unit 4 pool goes up in flames, the entire site's going to have to be evacuated. And if cooling goes down for whatever reason in those other pools, then they're going to boil dry and catch on fire too. We have those risks here in the United States. Just by way of example, the Pilgrim nuclear power plant that just got a 20-year license rubber stamp from the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, although the chairman dissented yet again, 4-to-1 vote, has a lot more waste in it than the Unit 4 pool at Fukushima Daiichi. Every fuel assembly ever generated at Pilgrim, so close to Boston, Massachusetts, is still in the pool there. Amazing. Close to 3,000 assemblies versus Unit 4 has 1,300.
Incredible. Kevin, we have to wrap it up. Thank you for being with us.
Thanks, Tom.
Keep up the great work. Kevin Camps, given everything we've seen over the last year, from Fukushima to contaminated sea life to now radiation here in the United States in our tuna, does anyone out there still think nuclear power is a good idea? If we continue our addiction to the world's most expensive and most dangerous form of energy, it's just a matter of time before we too get burned.